Guten Tag, everyone. This is Herr Mike McCluskey. I am the German teacher at Bunker Hill Middle School. I just wanted to make a quick video today to introduce you to the Blink learning platform, which is what we are using for our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade German classes throughout Washington Township Public Schools. And I just want to use this quick video today to get you as parents, you as students, more acquainted with how this website works. So the website, as I stated before, is blinklearning.com. And this is a learning platform that we will use to access our textbook series Portfolio Deutsch, which we are using. So if you log in, students have created a login. They've used their WTPS.org emails, and then students were also asked to create their account using a password, the password that they use to log into their computers. So if you autosave, that goes a lot more quickly. So when you get in, your student's version of this web page is going to look a little different, but I'm going to still be able to show you the main tools that you can use. So the first thing I'd like to do is to take a look at our textbook, which is the color photo here. So once you click on textbook, I want to draw your attention to the difference. So you'll notice that each chapter, it says here classwork chapter 1. But underneath, there is an accompanying portfolio, a My Portfolio section for each chapter. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. So what I'd like to do is to just show you. Classwork Chapter 1 is the traditional textbook version of our book. So this is more images, vocabulary. I'm going to take a click in here and show you. Like I said, the traditional version of a textbook where it's more dialogues, not as interactive, but it does provide some good information. So the key difference that you'll see in the textbook, though, is you'll notice that there are music notes where students, if you click on this, students will be able to access audio so that they get an idea of how words are pronounced. There may be certain listening activities in here and also in other sections of the book, which I'll discuss in a second. So you use the arrows to flip back and forth between pages. Students can flip back and forth throughout the pages of the textbook. So another tool, if this text is too small, a tool that I really like is called continuous mode. So what you do, once you click on continuous mode, it blows up the page so that it takes up the full screen, and you scroll through the entire chapter, which makes it a lot easier to navigate and a lot easier to see, and you can do that. So the other section now I'd like to draw your attention to is what I tell students I call the blue page, the blaue Seite. And the blue page is a quick sort of study guide for each chapter in the book so that students know what sort of questions, what sort of vocabulary, what sort of skills would be needed within each chapter. And that is in every chapter. So I'm going to flip back here up to the gray bar. Another tool is the pencil tool. If students like to make notes in here, they can. If they want to, if we're doing an activity, they may be asked to circle certain things in the book, or they may be asked, they can highlight text in the book, and then all they need to do to delete that is click on it and hit delete. And they can change color using style. They can leave notes to themselves. So they can leave notes, actual notes, or maybe a sticky note like, hey, study this. And that'll still be in their login. And all they need to do again is to delete that. So I'm going to click out of this X, and I'm going to take you to the portfolio section. Now, what's great about this, the My Portfolio section is an interactive page. So these are interactive activities where it gives students feedback about how they've done. So I'm going to click on an activity here. Let's say this one, activity 12. So in each activity, it gives the title of the activity number, and then it gives the directions here in navy blue. So those are always, the directions are always given in English. So, and generally they are accompanied by an example. If an activity is more than 1 page long, you'll usually see the dots down here telling you how many pages the activity is. So students will go through and complete the activities. So for example, Buchstabe Nummer 10, so it's asking the students what, in this word, what number letter is 10, or so we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's letter H. So I'm going to type that in as a capital H, and I want to go down here to show you. For students to submit homework, all they need to do is hit the validate button. And they have 3 attempts at any homework, so they should make those attempts if they don't get it correct the first time. And how do they know if they're correct or not? Once you hit validate, you'll see that if it was correct, the box turns green. And if it is not correct, it turns red. And students have 2 more attempts to look at this activity. So students, generally, I only ask that students make an attempt because it is a machine, so it isn't perfect. It will tell students it's wrong if it is not exactly correct as the activity maker made it. So if it's not typed exactly correctly, it will tell them that it's wrong. So if they don't capitalize the first letter in a sentence, if they don't include punctuation, it will tell them that they are incorrect. So I ask usually that students only complete it because on my end of this, I am able to see what students upload, if they actually made an attempt at it, how many attempts they took, or if they just punched random keys on the keyboard and turned it in. So I am able to see, and I do look at that. But it is good to see once they hit validate, once they take all the attempts, it will show them what they have done correctly and what they've done incorrectly, and what the correct answer is. So it does give feedback in that way. So remember, the classwork section is traditional textbook. Portfolio will be assigned as homework assignments and classwork assignments as well. Where now I want to go to the workbook, which is the black and white book. The workbook is more grammar activities, spelling activities, where these will also be assigned as homework, but they generally, rather than focusing on vocabulary, they focus usually on some grammar aspect. Now, the great thing about this is, while I do ask that students write down the chapter number and the activity number, and whether it's in the portfolio section or workbook section, so you may see in assignment books, students write down portfolio 1.2. So that means that their homework is in the portfolio section of the textbook in chapter 1, and it is activity 2. So that's how they write that down. However, even though I ask them to write that down, this system has a messaging component where I can send the homework directly to the students. So if you were looking earlier, you saw that I have in my messages, you may have seen this one. So when I send an assignment to students, they only have to go up here to my messages, and you'll see that I send homework, and all they have to do is click this link, and it brings them to the homework. Obviously, each homework is going to look a little different depending on what it is, but again, directions are at the top in English, so if they have questions or they say they don't, or if you do not understand how to do it, the directions are there, and often it is accompanied by an example. Um, so all they have to do is go to that message and click on the link, and it should take them right to the homework that they have to complete for the night. But again, even though students will get this message, should get this message, sometimes technology fails, and I do ask that students write down the location of the homework as well as the activity number so that even if that technology does fail, they do have the opportunity to do that homework. I do believe that's about it. If you do have any questions concerning Blink, please feel free to reach out to me by email. Um, and that's it. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.